And then I'll send you another version of this lesson, which has the beginning part as well. So you'll get two. It'll be a different group of people, but same thing. Sorry about that. I was so into the process. This is true. Drawing is become such a joy for me. It was so stressful when I first started out. I didn't really start out to become an artist until I was in my early 30s. And painting and color were pretty easy for me, but drawing was hard because I just didn't know how to do it. And so it started as this very stressful thing. And then as I learned it, I was like, this is the most amazing thing ever. And it is a kind of brain sharpening tool. It's like learning another language. It has that capacity to really engage your full brain. So when you guys are done, if you're all done, hold them. I want to see them all. Hold them up. Let me know when you're done, and I'll pull down this, and we'll hold them up. Okay.
We're done.
Let's see. You guys are fast. Let's see. Oh my God, they're adorable. Isn't it interesting that they're all kind of different too? Like slightly different. Like everybody kind of puts their own spin on them. So drawing is a skill that anyone can learn. The result is your voice. It's always there. It's there from the very first thing you do. You don't have to worry about finding it, and you don't have to worry about technique and theory kind of ruining it. All right, are you ready for the next exercise? Because now it gets funky.
Dog.
Yes. So I'm going to have you guys draw all these birds. But first, I'll draw this one, the easiest one with you. Do you like how I copped out there? Totally took the easiest bird to demo with you. And I want you to be able to see it. So hold on. I want you not to be distracted by other things. So there's that. There's this. We're just going to start with that guy. Let me pop him up so you can see him. Hey. All right. So just like before, oh, that's just distracting. Here, let me put this there. Just like before, I see that there is a little dot for his eye. And instead of a circle around the dot, there's a little straight line, horizontal straight line on top. I'm going to do that again. Dot, straight line, and then curved line that goes up to about here. Oh, you can see I put the straight line a little higher than it should be. So I'm making my dot a little bit bigger. It's probably going to make him look really grumpy, but that'll just be funny. And then sort of just below the eye and to the left, we have a straight line horizontal and two straight lines going down and meeting. Making a triangle, but to keep the language correct, three straight lines. And I'm going to do his little inner body. This line, these two curved lines line up down here. This one here, and this one just in from the side of his head, just to the left. And then bigger lines, curved lines on the outside. This is my favorite part of this drawing next. It's two bigger dots lined up with the two inner curved lines and then two smaller ones for his toes. So cute. And then his tail is just a series of curved lines that get bigger on each layer. So there's your little Tweety bird. So guess what I'm going to have you guys do? The rest of these. Oh. Yes. I might share them for you because it might be easier to see. Let's see if that makes a difference. Hang on. File. We are. Yeah, I might share them with you because I think it's going to be easier to see if I share this screen. How's that? Easier to see, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So have at it.
How much time do we have?
This is basically what's going to take up most of the rest of our class. So
Okay.
this is the practice. And bird by bird, I would start with this one. Sorry,
Which one?
I would start with this one.
That guy.
Yeah, that guy. And just remember, you're starting with the eye, then you're going to the beak, then the line for the beak, then the beak, then the curved lines. Just take it line by line. And if you find yourself just wanting to focus on that quietly, that's totally fine. If you have questions about drawing or painting, or you want to ask me anything or talk to your colleagues or whatever, you can also do that. It's kind of free flow, looking up. It is important. You could print this out and put it next to you. It's good to learn how to draw things from a source that's away from you.
Why is that?
Because you're forced to continue to look at the drawing as much as at your source as much as you are at the drawing. What tends to happen when you have the source next to you here, well, what happens when you have the source next to you is you tend to stare at your drawing more than the source, and then you try to remember what's there rather than looking. Whether when you're looking up at something, you have to keep looking up at it, right? You can maybe memorize one little line at a time, one mark at a time. One of the mistakes that we make as a drawer is we look at something once and then we kind of freeze up and lock on the paper. And it's a very hard, that's a hard way to, you can't remember everything. So, but we do it and then we wonder why we can't draw. It's because we have to look as much as draw things. There's a kind of pacing to drawing that's really wonderful. It's every step in its place. You can't skip steps, right?
I need already.
Right. Just like IKEA furniture, if you don't follow the instructions directly, exactly, you don't put it together the right way. It's actually the same thing, right? Like one step at a time. It's a slowing down as we stop and we observe.
I think I need a version of this where you're drawing angry birds.
Well, as you saw here, if you make his like I did, if you make your little Tweety here, the eyebrow coming too close to the eye, he definitely looks angry, for sure. Take it line by line. And if you make a mistake, that's okay. It happens. It's a very standard part of the drawing process. The other mistake I think people make all the time is that they expect to get things right on the first go. No artist, no professional artist expects that. We lay things out. You kind of have to lay something out and then evaluate it right next to the thing you've already laid out. It's very relational, visual spatial. It all depends on how close something is to you, what's next to it, what's around it. And that changes things. That's why it's kind of good to draw upside down, although I'm not going to make you do that with these guys. I think this is just fine. However, if you wanted to do the upside down man, the entire thing, I do recommend you could take that home. I'll email you the image and I'll show you how to set it up so that you can draw the whole thing upside down, which is a fun exercise, if this is something that you guys like to do. By the way, fabulous drawing form. I see your heads bouncing up and down. Later, I will tell you a very funny story about that. But now, just know everybody's got the position. You're doing this absolutely right.
Because you can't see our drawings.
Yeah, you have to kind of go, you have to slow it down, right? Back up. If you want to, you can hold your drawing up right to the screen to see, did I get it? Is this correct? Is this right? Is this correct? Is this right? The hard thing is the kind of going back and continually referring back to your source, but it's the key.
Liberties.
Right. You can take a liberty or two. I'm not, nobody's judging.
The begin's easier than that one. And
What's that?
oh, no, I was saying that I took some liberties with my bird.
That's totally, let's see, can I see it? Or gosh, now I can't see it because I'm sharing the screen.
That's
I'll
really
take,
good. Yeah.
hey, I can send you guys, what is the best way to do this? I guess you could text it to me. I'll take a look at the end. Show me at the end. Yeah. Normally, when I teach classes, I actually have everybody on a WhatsApp text message thread. So in this particular lesson, I'm not going to be correcting you that much. I just want you to start to get your feet in. But in all other art lessons, I will be looking at evaluating what you're doing, helping you, uh, um, helping you improve it, helping you understand, like, how to correct things. And so for that, I have people send a WhatsApp text message. And what's nice about that is it's kind of like being in a class because then you see what everybody else is doing. For the last 10 years, I've been teaching art. My primary journalism client has been Reuters, Reuters news agency. I've been offering art classes for 10 years now as like weekly art classes on drawing and painting. And since they're a big international company, they're kind of all over, they have people all over the place. So I have classes that started all kinds of wild times, and it's all under mental health. It's all under uh, just stress relief, which I know you guys don't know anything about because your jobs are so easy right now.
Please.
Right?
Looks like a hot dog bun.
Right, right. I mean, there's
I feel
definitely,
he's more angry.
Mine looks like the Mr. Rogers legally. I haven't heard.
you guys are killing it. I'm seeing ProPublica quoted all the time. I'm seeing in the right places. You're doing amazing, amazing work. You should feel very proud of that. It is being noticed.
It's good we
The-
have that back on instead of drawing.
Right. So let yourself just try.
Should we try, do other birds?
Yeah, I want you to do all of them. As many as you can. I want you to do as many as you can. Bird by, as Anne Lamott says, bird by bird. I'm trying to do all of them, but do at the same time, but do them. This is the practice. Yeah. If anybody's having trouble, this is what I will have you do. I'm going to put my my phone number in the chat and you can text it over to me. And I'll take a look if you want me to help you, but you really don't. I just want you. Anyway, here we go. If you want help or you want to just show me what you're done, I would love to see it. Here we go.
Too far. Too far. Really concerning.
How do you, how have, the feedback you get is from writers or from other folks?
Yes.
How do people employ this in their day-to-day life then? Like when they're stuck, they're stuck on a story, they wanna.
Yes. It can help you get unstuck on a story. Rather famously, the first year we did this class, I worked, there was a young woman who worked in the data analysis group, and she was doing a story on human trafficking in Eritrea, which is where she's from. And she had this massive amount of data, and she was just sitting at her desk struggling with the story. And then she quit. She just got up at 6, walked into the conference room like you guys were, which is how I did it that first year with Reuters, and spent an hour trying to draw a flower that I was demoing. So she spent an hour trying to draw a flower, and as she told me, it was hard. And then after an hour and a half of working on that flower, she walked back to her desk and knocked out the story.
And
Yeah.
what is the explanation for that? That the brain.
It just cleared her head and helped her see. That is a really good question. What is the explanation for that? I think there is a visual element to writing stories, and I think it helps you essentialize, right? What are the important things? It helps you see what's important and what is not important. I did notice myself as well. I spent another 10 years kind of making a living as a journalist and a journalistic teacher and a writer while I struggled to be a good artist. And I found that my writing got so easy. I never struggled with leads again. That's what happened to me after I learned how to draw. So there's something about the quieting and the essentializing that helps you see the story. But yeah, I tried to evaluate it because I have hundreds of journalists who have done these classes. But nobody's interested in answering surveys and what they just want to. I think for most people, it's learning something new and learning something that's different than what you thought. And to me, it's a little bit like learning to read, write, or do arithmetic, right? These are all separate skills that really need to be taught to you. You can't, but once you add them into your toolbox, it kind of builds a deeper ability to analyze things in different ways. So, and some people just find it really relaxing because they're only focusing. I mean, the drawing is kind of stressful because it's hard when you get it wrong and you have to figure that out. But it's very absorbing, so it kind of keeps you from thinking about whatever else you're thinking about. The metal. Did that answer that question?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, sometimes it's sort of like, the lead comes to you in the shower, it's just sort of
Yeah,
like
exactly.
thinking you're.
Or you have to
you're-
sleep on it, right? You have to
Right.
sleep on it. But what's nice about drawing, it's a very active process. So as you're learning to draw, as we know how the brain works a lot better now, right? So we know that when we're learning a new skill, all the synapses fire, including the new neural plastic pathway you are building right now, learning how to draw. So the more you practice it, the more that pathway grows. But because it's requiring so much focus, all of your brain cells are firing. So it's not like sleeping where you're relaxing, right? And it's not like zoning out where you're watching TV. You're actively getting all of your brain processes firing along with the new information that you're learning. The bad news is, the good news, bad news, once you get good at something, your brain starts to deteriorate. Like that process stops happening. Once you get like, right? Like once you get good at something, then like the brain has figured out shortcuts and the whole brain stops firing. So yeah, so the challenge is really to keep what's nice about drawing that I think is different about like kind of zoning out or sleeping is that you're learning a new skill, which is keeping all your brain processes going, your whole brain working. And that's when the best learning happens.
Would, you know, at the stores or places you see these coloring books for adults. Like,
Yes.
be like a similar thing that like your
No,
brain-
that's very different because all the lines are laid out for you.
Pardon me?
This is hard. This is like
Yeah.
hard. It's not, it's doable, but it's hard. An adult coloring book is more like watching a TV show.
Okay.
I mean, it feels great. I'm not saying it's not great, but you don't have to, all the hard work has already been done for you. Drawing is the hard work. And that is, so, yeah, I had somebody ask me once, she said she had a app on her phone where she could draw circles with her finger on it and just stare at them. And she's like, is that gonna help me with my right brain? And I'm like, no, because that's not like, because that's not hard. You want something that's just hard enough that you have to kind of push yourself to do it. And that's where the optimum kind of brain neurons firing happens. But I mean, there's adult coloring books are great. It's color is great and it's always fun to color. And you know, painting is its own level of thing because you're using tools and you have to learn. There's a lot of things that aren't obvious. I think both about drawing and about painting that make them kind of, you can kind of consistently be building your knowledge and consistently be learning. So that's kind of awesome about it. It's sort of constant problem solving. Probably a little bit like writing new, you know, a bit like writing is. Once you get in the swing of it, it's not that it's always easy, but you have a process that gets you through it. And drawing and painting also has a process. And as you get more familiar with the process, it gets easier. Just don't get too good at it. Don't master it, because then your brain starts to deteriorate.
It's not a problem. Not a problem.
Right? Right, I know. Like that.
All these are just support. Clearly. Mine's about to line.
Birds are smashing into each other.
Yeah, I had that problem also too.
Very stressed.
Has everybody finished all the birds?
Wow.
Here, okay, now I wanna, I just wanna see, I wanna see it. Can everybody, can you guys show it or send me something or hold them up or? Awesome. 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 All right, keep on going. If you finish this project, what do I have for you? Here, hold on. I can, let me pull this up, sorry. It takes a second for me to share it, pull up more. If you finish this project and you want to keep going, I can give you, I can email you. You'd have to print it though. Do you guys have access to a printer pretty easily? So if anybody is done with this and they would like to draw the entire Picasso upside down, let me know and I will email it over to Steve. Can I just send it to you and you can send it to everybody?
Yep.
Okay, I'm going to do that right now. I didn't know you guys were going to be so fast. You can, right. If you can, if you have stuff to color with, you could also color these in once you finish drawing them. If you just feel like doing that, totally do that.
If my kids had brought these home, I'd be hard pressed to put these up on the fridge.
Hang on. All right.
Not frame worthy.
Yeah.
Good stuff here.
All right. Hang on. I'm gonna send you the upside down man. So you could color these in. Do you have any coloring supplies? Yeah. Where are you? Upside down. Oh, right down here. Here it is. Okay. I'm sending you the upside down man. He, of course, is, I think, right side up. What you'll do, and let me, oh, sorry, I see what I just did there. I pulled off your birds. Sorry about that, guys. What you're gonna do is here, I'm gonna pop this up. So you have a couple of options. You can, once you've finished drawing all these birds, you can color them in if you've got stuff to color with. Pencils, highlighters, like markers, whatever. You can outline them with Sharpie to kind of outline the line with a Sharpie pen to outline the lines. I have sent Steve the upside down man. So if you want to take, if you see this as the upside down man, it's the birds, but it is in the same way. You can take a piece of paper, a blank piece of paper, put it on top of upside down man like this, and then fold it twice. So that you have 4 equal squares. And then you can turn this upside down. You'll have your blank sheet of paper upside down. And then you do one rectangle at a time, right? Yeah, so if you want to try that, you can totally try that. But you can also just gussy these up a little bit and ask me more questions about drawing, because I think there's a lot here. Does anybody need to see the birds anymore?
Yes.
Okay, let me pop those up. I shall pop them back up. Oh, I lost it. Where are you? Here, hold on just a second. Exit full screen. I'll pull them up. Yeah, I always feel like journalists get this quickly because it's an intellectual thing that you're doing already. So you understand the intellectualism of this. There we go. It might not feel easy all the time drawing, but there is a process and a procedure for doing it that makes it easier. And practice makes it easier. And some days go better than others. And you don't expect to be a great writer overnight. You also don't expect to be born a great writer, right? You know that you have to practice to make that happen. So drawing is the same way. I think that's why I decided to move from being a journalist to being an artist, because I was very captivated by art in my early 30s, but never thought I could do it. And then when I started to learn that I could, I just couldn't get enough of that feeling of how I could continue to build on it. It's a very like lifelong learning thing. And if anybody wants me to look at your work, send it over. I'm happy to look at it.
Do we just text it to you?
Yeah, text it over.
What's the number again?
347-251-1984. Perfect. Oh my God, those are great. They're awesome. There's one or two things you could do. Color those. I love this one in particular, the one that you drew over here. I love, notice as you made a sort of more of a space between these two lines, how it looks like he's yelling.
I'll put it on a slide.
What's the number
It's
again?
fabulous. No, it's fabulous. Notice how a little teeny tiny difference can totally express a huge emotional change. Isn't that incredible? I mean, that's probably like a millimeter of difference. I love it. If there's one you think you would want to try over again, try one over again. What did you observe as you did this? Was it easier than you thought?
I was aware that I wasn't like doing it perfectly, but I just was kind of going, I was surprised at how like it always worked out in the end somehow.
Yeah. It works out. Do you want to know something? I still feel that way about every painting I make. I probably paint 300 paintings or more a year. And every single piece of art I make, I'm still like, whoa, that turned out. It's like, if you follow the process and don't get too caught up in it, that is the marvelous surprise. All right. Oh, these are
What's your
lovely.
number again? What's your number?
347-251-1984. Who's 516?
That's me.
That I love these. These turned out great. What was your experience?
Yeah, I think when you reframed this as drawing lines and circles, it made it a lot easier.
Right.
Yeah, I'm like trying the other birds now, and I'm kind of having trouble with like getting the proportions right, but yeah, it's in the end you're just kind of drawing a series of lines.
And shapes, right? And marks. Proportion's really hard. So don't like, that's the toughest part. And really what usually happens is, so yeah, like this guy, I like to get the head and the beak in. And then, oh, I'll show you a little trick that's really cool. I'll show you something cool. Here, I'm going to stop the share and pop this up, my paper up, so I can write on it. Let's see. So if you sketch that, this, right, this first, and then you're trying to figure out where to put everything else, you can do this. You can create something called the negative shape. Negative shape is the saving grace, and you can do that down here too. So negative space is the space that is not the subject. It's the space in between the subject. And so sometimes getting this shape right helps you place things in other places. So try that. That is super helpful, particularly with this guy. Negative space. Negative space is amazing. We get to a point where here, I'm going to pop this back up because I don't think this is a very good thing. But yeah, that's a neat little magic. There's all kinds of tricks I have up my sleeve for, artists have up their sleeves for making things, figuring out how to evaluate how big things are. So you can see the little negative space here. Try that. Try there. Excellent. Let's see. Okay. Who's 312?
That's me.
Oh, these are great. Oh, is that you, Steve?
They stick to your day job.
Yeah. No, I think these are great. I actually love them. I was gonna say, this guy, if you'll notice, where you started to have trouble is you didn't line up the beak, right, with the bottom of that foot there. So if you put the beak shape in and then drew a line all the way down there, right? Just a horizontal line to the left. That shows you where the feet go. Do you see how your beak is kind of a little bit above the feet? Your beak is here, and the feet are down here. So try that one over again. I like
Right,
it.
Steve. Second
These are
draft,
great.
Steve.
The other ones are great. The other ones look just fine.
I forwarded everybody that.
Oh, now come on.
Yeah.
Story and illustration by Jeremy.
Legend.
That would be,
Like if somebody did both.
yeah.
I think Irina can do both.
Okay.
Oh, she definitely can.
She's the whole.
Well,
She's a
let her
great-
draw a little bit, right?
Hmm.
Put down her finger.
It is hard, but the interesting thing is our bar, it's easier, it's doable, right? And that's the thing that's really interesting. People are like, I can't draw a stick figure. And I'm like, okay, in one lesson, I can show you, you can draw more than a stick figure. And then all of a sudden, your assessment of what you should be able to do is like, well, why isn't it perfect? And there's a lot of learning how to assess things visually. Negative space is a huge part of that. Measuring is another big part of that. That's less fun, but totally necessary in drawing. And as you get, the thing I find really interesting about drawing is you often have to do it for a while before you understand and make the same mistake over and over again before you understand the theory, right? The thing that stops you from making the mistake. And that's because when we're translating 3 dimensions to a flat surface, shapes are different than we think they should be. They take up more or less space than we think they should be. There's a lot of rules that we're not used to, logical rules about visual spatial relationships that we have to kind of learn, like anything else. So, but it's doable. It's not like, I'm sure you walked in here not think, if I had just handed you this sheet of birds and told you to draw it, you guys would have just looked at me like I was crazy. Right? Like it's all a kind of a understanding how to start. And then you're kind of pleasantly surprised by how it works out in the end. I really like that.
Kind of like writing, like we have all this information, we gotta figure out where do you start?
Yes, that's right. It is like writing. I agree. And the best writers have a kind of visual idea of how the story looks, right? On printed. I mean, it's funny, for me, it's different. I was a journalist in the 90s. So I worked for small daily newspapers and then I worked for Time magazine in Hong Kong. So I was looking at physical paper all the time, right? Like how my stories like sort of played out in something that you held in your hand. But yeah, you're looking at flow. You're getting a sense of how much time it takes to make a point, right? How much time do you need to describe your point and where you put it? I think there's a visual, I have decided over the years, there's a visual spatial element in writing. And once you decide to try and explain it, it gets harder to grasp, but it is there. And as you develop this, you're also developing, because your whole brain is firing, you're also kind of activating your whole brain. what do they say? They say neurons wire together. When they fire together, they wire together. So that's what learning something new teaches you how to do. That's why they say that like a lot of the sort of some dementia stuff and some of the sort of standard old aging things that happen where you start to forget things. If you learn a new language or learn to draw or paint, you kind of keep your brain fire, kind of fired and active, and that activates other things. It keeps your brain kind of exercised. Otherwise, you just stick with what you know, and then it slows down. Yeah, the moment you hit mastery, deterioration. Like, fortunately, I think most of us humans are
Like,
right. Humans are works in progress. That's what we are. We're always working towards something. Oh, let's see.
Which small newspapers did you work at in the US there?
I worked for a small paper called Foster's Daily Democrat out of New Hampshire, in Portsmouth, New Hampshire, and then I was worked for a paper called the Morning Star in Wilmington, North Carolina. And then I went back to Seattle, where I'm from, and worked for the paper that doesn't exist anymore called the Valley Daily News in Kent, Washington. It was a little bit outside Seattle. And then I went to Asia and kind of landed a job, sort of fell into a job with Time Magazine. I always like to say I just kind of rolled in at the right time. They were just opening the Asian edition. It was a year before the handover to China. And so I just kind of was lucky and positioned myself well. And then I came back and did a little work for ABC News. And then I learned and then I started painting, and that was it. It was all over.
Wow.
My career.
I've never heard that.
Oh.
Oh.
Yeah, this is great. These are great. These are great. Are you happy with them? How do you feel?
the beaks are a little weird.
The
Most of my.
beaks are a little weird. So, do you mind?
But yeah, the symmetry that you're amazing.
I feel like all the beaks look perfectly fine. This one could use a little work. And the
Yeah.
reason is its shape, and you could just erase it. So, and add it back in. It's kind of 3 angle lines.
Right.
Here, right? Break this up into angles. Well, 4 if you include this one, and then line it right up with the bottom of that foot there.
Okay,
Right.
I'm gonna try again.
Oh.
Well, you don't even have to try it again. I think you can just,
Clean them up like we're like.
well, if you want to try it again.
Oh my
you
gosh.
have-
Do they go on the fridge?
The art and just.
in the
Yes.
brain.
Yes, it was not, yes.
Joe, do you wanna?
Anyway,
Yeah.
these are amazing, you guys. These are totally great. I hope you're feeling.
I've gotta step out, but thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
Send me an invoice.
All right, I will. Thanks, Steve. Does anybody else have questions about this idea, or just keep going? Like, we have time. I mean, he booked me for another 20 minutes, so let's just keep going. And if you want to,
Great random question. When did Time Magazine switch from illustrated covers to photograph?
that's a very good question. Was it? I don't know. That's a good question.
But like, I was just curious, and it's like, wouldn't that have been neat if you could, launch your drawing career, you could have.
Oh my God, wouldn't that be cool? Yes. I did learn a lot about, from a visual perspective, working for Time in a way I didn't learn working for small magazines. Time was a pretty tightly written product. Everything had a kind of, you had to think about the visual as well as the how it looked on the page, right? As well with the visual elements as well when you were writing your story. And structure was tight, and they put a lot of people and resources on the editing and the writing of the product to make sure it was good. So I learned a lot about structure. And I think because I managed to get that job and I got to work through the Hong Kong handover, and then I taught, I got a night fellowship to teach journalism in Mongolia, of all places. So I spent a year in Mongolia. And I actually think that's what ruined me for a desk job ever after. Like, I think it was teaching journalism. But I think it was because I got to spend that time at Time Magazine that I began to think more visually. And that kind of moved me towards art, kind of unconsciously. I still love journalism and writing. I think it's the most amazing thing. And I think the most amazing work is being done right now at a big cost to you all. But it is, you're doing amazing work.
How long were you in Hong Kong?
2 years, 96 to 98. It was an amazing time to be there.
Clementson, by any chance?
Did I know who?
Annette Clementson?
Yes. Didn't they do some writing for Time? Or,
Yeah, I believe it was there right at the time of that like turn, you know,
yes.
Just when it's pass across, but it was probably a very big operation too, so.
Well, I definitely knew a lot of people. Yeah, there was a whole group of journalists there at that time, of course, right? Because that was such a big story at that time. It seems so innocent now. It seems very innocent now.
Clearly.
To me, in that way of not the story itself. The story was complex, but you know, I just think the thing that's the hardest about news seems to me the hardest thing about news right now is there's no break either for the reader or the writer. And so you're not like, right? Like when you in the 90s, like we didn't have our stories on the internet. So once you put that story to bed, you had a day to think about the next story, and so did your reader. And now things are just so fast paced, it's really hard for everybody to stop and take a break, you know? Like it's hard on you guys, but it's just as hard on the reader because the reader doesn't have time to process it, you know? It's weird. So I think I worked in journalism at a time where things were a lot easier. Then again, I guess you can always say that about any time. I don't think you can say that about this time. You can say that about most times. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but I suppose there's always a kind of advancement in technology and stuff. But yeah, I really love journalism. I never imagined I would not be doing it. And I think that's why I like to work with journalists because I understand the job and I respect it so deeply. It's such a huge, creative, wonderful thing. And anybody who does it is so smart and skilled. You know, it's such a special skill. So, you know, it's nice to be around smart people. Like, it's like really nice. I think it's really great.
It's such a nice combination of right brain, left brain, actually.
It is at its best. Yes. Yes, indeed. And that's why I think this learning to draw can develop your writing. It did happen for me. I never struggled really to kind of find the essential, you know, for that first 10 years, I struggled a lot. And then after that, it became easier, much easier to see the essence of the story and how it might sort of spread out. So I do think there is some truth to that, and many of my students who've been working with me for a long time also say the same thing. They just don't care. They're like, I do this to calm my brain. You know, I do this to step away from the hustle and bustle and the nonstop news cycle. Right. There's something it's slow art, really, is what it is, like slow food or anything else. You're slowing yourself down. And that's I think, an important thing right now, since nobody really wants you to. No one wants you to slow down. So you have to just take it when you can get it.
Have you encountered people who took your course and then like started incorporating drawing into their reporting? For example, if they're sitting in a courtroom and they wanted to sketch something.
I have said that's a good question. I have, let me show you some of my other students' work. Do you want to see? Can I pull this down for a second? I can show you. I'll show you the Reuters student work. I have some amazing artists in this program. Let's see. Oh, I know. I have it up in a show right now. Here. Give me 1 second. Hold on. So I have students that have taken their kind of, here it is, here. Their sort of wacky perspective and storytelling perspective into their artwork. Let's see. Here's our student show for 2025. This student is on the copy desk at Reuters, and she has been just exploding. She's a really, I don't think she would mind me telling you this story. When we started so I started at Reuters with one, going into a conference room like you guys with one group of people, and then we just made it available to everybody, from anywhere. And Sandra jumped in 2020. And that was the year she was diagnosed with breast cancer. So she was working from home. Everybody was working from home. It was COVID, and she lived at home, and she had cancer. And so she came to I had 5 classes a week going then, and she came to every class, even if she just come from chemo. And she said it really saved her because she could not focus on that horrible thing. And she's now in complete remission. And is incredible. And look at how her work has evolved. Loves animals. These are her cats. She does amazing work. This is a woman at the Gdansk office in Poland who has been playing with self-portraits. So she's been putting herself in different positions. This is a Venezuelan woman who lives in Texas and covers oil for Reuters. And watercolor. It's wonderful, isn't it? This guy works for the LA Press Club, and my favorite thing that he does, let's see if I can get it over here. I mean, his work is amazing. He does these kind of funny, cute things like this, and then portraits. But my favorite thing, and this is a really wonderful one, he's very inventive and creative, is so I taught him figure drawing and kind of walked him through one of these, but he often would take like, so we watercolored a llama, and then he added like the hair and the eyelashes and called it the Dalai Lama. He's really amazing. This is a woman in Italy who is in Milan. She's done a lot of different stuff. She's explored a lot. So this is kind of a simple painting exercise. This is this cartoon that she developed. Here she is, her watercolors. She kind of has done everything this year. And we also do this program with the LA Press Club. So this is the executive director of the LA Press Club. She's quite a gifted artist, loves the ability to be able to pop into class 2 or 3 times a week, and work on things while she's running the LA Press, when she's not running the LA Press Club. And her work is just gorgeous, isn't it? I just bought this piece from her because I loved it so much. It can happen. Your teacher will start collecting you. This is a woman in Sweden. This is a small watercolor exercise. She focused on watercolor. So it's very different, right? Like all the different things. This is a painting.
Oh, gosh.
She often, this young woman often takes, she's in Gdansk as well with Reuters. She often takes a year to work on a painting. So that's a painting as well.
That's unreal.
This one isn't done. Telling her to stop and she won't stop. But she did give it to me for the student show, which was very nice of her. And this is the one I wanted to show you. So this woman is the person who started the program at Writers. Her name is Janet Roberts. And she does these fantastical, she has really taken her art in a very fantastical direction. And she works with models a lot and then puts them in these crazy scenarios. So it's cool, right? Like very different, kind of interesting. Is there anybody else? Yes. So while I don't see people exactly incorporating it into their work, I do see the work influencing the final product, right? Kind of depending on what you're doing. What else do you guys want to know? Do you want to do it again? Should we get Steve to do it again? I can teach you something
Never
else.
know. Well, there's other offices too, so there's, you know, we have a lot of regional offices.
All
Well,
right.
thank you so
Yeah,
much.
you're welcome.
Thanks,
You're
Lisa.
welcome.
This was great.
Yeah,
Was
More
this
than-
helpful to you guys? Was it helpful?
Yeah.
This was great.
I'm
Oh,
so glad.
all right, we got a
I'm-
question?
Yeah, can you recommend a book that's just filled with?
Yes, I
fun
have
books?
several.
yeah.
I'm gonna email it all over to Steve right now. I
Okay.
have a set of books you should read, including this one. And this has lots of things to practice with. Yeah, I'll send over everything right now. And the link.
Appreciate you.
And you guys, thank you. And reach out if you have anything else you want to ask me. You're doing great work and you deserve everything. So whatever I could do to help, you let me know.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right. Take care, everybody. Bye.
This is going out front, by the way.
Okay.
Oh, good.
Everybody-
Do you really?
Yeah.
Take care, everybody.